I'm at the TM Forum Digital Disruption event right in the heart of San Jose, California, and I'm with Daniel Sieberg. Daniel is an author and he's an executive with Google. Straight off the stage, Daniel, thanks for the time. We're into the 3-minute highlights here. Can you tell me what they were?
Sure, I'll break it down into some bite-sized pieces. What I talked about was mainly tied to the book, The Digital Diet, and the forum is all about this digital disruption, and I would submit that a digital diet is a form of digital disruption. So the idea is that as we consume our technology, it's a little bit like when we consume our food. We make choices, we want to ingest it in a way that's beneficial to us and healthy. So the same premise goes for how we consume our technology. And today, whether you're working in business or in your personal life, whatever it is, to think about the choices that you make when you do that. So within the book, there are different sort of suggestions and ways to do that effectively. I talk a lot about multitasking and whether we can do that effectively and how to balance all of that. And we all have demands. As you pointed out, I work at Google, so certainly I'm immersed in technology. I worked as a technology reporter going back about 15 years. But I think we're at a point now where, to be an agile company or to be an agile employee, we can't feel overwhelmed and burdened and weighed down all the time. We have to kind of perhaps think about how to do that effectively. And sometimes that means shedding a little bit of that virtual weight, being mindful and aware with our technology in our lives, no matter what industry you're in or whatever business that you're doing, so you can be much more effective and productive in whatever you do.
Multitasking. I noticed you spoke a lot about multitasking and some things that seemed like they were more real world than the digital world, physical world. Tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of research done on multitasking and how often the brain sort of tricks us into thinking that we can be good at it, even though we can have lots of tabs open and browsers, and the ability to get tasks done effectively and to focus on something. It can be better to occasionally think about monotasking. Sort of putting things aside for a bit. And I know that that's difficult. I know that a lot of us have demands on our time and we have to kind of juggle a lot going on. And I'm certainly not perfect at it. But I will say that anecdotally and through the research that's being done, when you can carve out that time for yourself, when you can allow yourself, in fact, to be focused on something, it allows you to be more agile in whatever else that you're doing. So there's kind of a trade-off where you can get that done, do it well, and then move on to something else.
And is this initiative with the TM Forum, this digital disruption initiative that they've taken, is that useful to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just as much of an attendee geek, if you will, as I am a presenter. I've followed the forum itself over the years that it's been around, and certainly the ability for companies to come here and business people to have these conversations and discussions is so critical and so important. And I'm glad to be part of it in the capacity that I am.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time.
My pleasure. Thank you.